Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Marcella. Here I will to present you about the usage of modal in request word. The usage of modal in request word, words that express different kinds of thing for intent. They might express ability, possibility, permission, obligation, behave differently. Words that are in modal. There is can, could, should, may, might, ought to, must, have to, will, shall, and would. The first is can. Can are used to express ability. However, can is for future ability. The example, the boy can make his own breakfast. The manager can buy a new car. Can also used to express polite requests. Can is informal polite request in the future. The example, can I borrow your pen for a moment? Can you teach me about the English? Can be used to make offers. Example, can I help you to solve your financial problems? Number two is could. Could are used to express ability. Could is for past ability. The example, I could read the book more faster than you yesterday. Could are used to express polite requests. Could is for formal polite requests in the past. The example, could I use your computer to print and scan? Could is used to express wishes. Formula, wish, es plus simple past or could or past perfect. Could have plus past participle or past future. Could play past bare infinitive. The example, Raisa wishes he could drive a car. My brother wishes he could have owned a house when he was 25 years old. Should. Should is modal verb most commonly used to make recommendation or give advice. It can also be used to express obligation as well as expectation. Example, when you go to Berlin, you should visit the place in Potsdam. You should focus more on your family and less on work advice. I really should be in the office by 7 a.m. Number four is by now, they should already be in Dubai. May. May is modal verb that is used to express possibility, ask for, give, or permission. Express wishes, make a suggestion. The example, expressing possibility. I may be late, so don't wait for me. Number two is well. I may have been go wrong. Asking for or giving permission. May I come in? May I answer this call? You can also use may to politely give permission to somebody. You may come in. You may talk. Expressing wishes. May she rest in peace. May all your wishes come true. Making a suggestion. May I suggest that you consider asking a professional. May I suggest that you listen to your mother. Might. Might is a modal verb that is similar to may and serves similar functions. Used for expressing possibility, asking for permission, making a suggestion. The example, expressing possibility. He might get there in time, but I can't be sure. I might be a few minutes late. Asking permission. Might I use your phone? Might I sit here? Making a suggestion. If you want to get annulled, you might consult your lawyer. You might want to tell your auto. Use to show when it is necessary or would be a good thing to perform the activity referred by the following verb. You ought to be kinder to him. We ought not or oughtn't To have agreed without knowing what it will cost. We ought to be getting ready now. Yes, I guess we ought to. Fewer example. If there's any doubt about the rocket engines, we ought to cancel the launch. I'm surprised at you behaving so badly. You ought to know better. The child ought to be in bed. Whoever approached the tree ought to be ashamed of themselves. Men and women ought to be able to compete for jobs and on an equal footing. Must. When you are sure that something is true or that it is the only realistic possibility, you can use must plus infinitive. For the past tense, you can use must plus have plus past participle. Example, Ben must have forgotten about our appointment. Number 2, Alice and Copper must be on the way. Number 3, the cake smells good. Mom must be using vanilla extract. Have to. Have to is the most commonly used model of obligation. It is useful for forming question and negative. Example. Number 1, I have to study tonight. Number 2, do I have to study tonight? Number 3, she has to study tonight. Remember, have got to and have to are modal verbs and require a simple verb to follow them. The to is part of the modal. It is not an infinitive to. There is only one way to express past time with these modal verbs, had to. There is no past tense of must, or have got to. Will. Will used to express belief about the present or future to talk about what people want to do or are willing to do to make promise, offers, and requests. I will in the future tense sentence. The word will is used to express an activity that will definitely happen in the future. Example, number 1, I will turn 21 tomorrow. They will have been received the invitation tomorrow. Will. Will on ability and willingness. In this context, the meaning of will is to express the ability and willingness to do something. Example, this darn washing machine won't turn on. Will on request and over. Will can also function to ask other people to do something or request, and over oneself to other people to do something. Example, will you close the door please? Will you take me home? There is shall. Shall is the modal verb used to indicate future action. It is most commonly used in sentence with I or we and is often found in suggestion, such as shall we go? Shall is also frequently used in promise or voluntary action. For the example, number 1, shall I help you? Number 2, I shall never forget where I came from. Number 3, he shall become our next king. Number 4 is, I'm afraid Mr. Smith shall become our new director. Would. Would is the past form of will. The word would is used when you ask question politely. Example, would you help me to fix my car? Would can also be used to express a request politely. Example, I would like more tea, please. Would can also be used to describe habits in the past. Example, my father would be mad every time I get home later than 9 p.m. Problem example, there are plenty of potatoes. You blah 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 by any. Number 2 is blah blah blah, you please call my mom for me. Number 3, blah blah blah, you teach me how to make brownies. You're so good at it. Number 4, you blah 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 walk on grass. Number 5, Lalula, I ask you a question. Number one is the answer is there are plenty of potatoes. You should not buy any. Number two is could you please call my mom for me? Number three is can you teach me how to make a brownies? You're so good at it. Number four is you must not walk on grass. Number five is may I ask you a question? Conclusion. Modal verbs are a type of auxiliary verb in English that are used to express possibility, permission, ability, necessity, or intention. Modal verbs often precede the main verb and do not change verb regardless of the subject. That's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, my name is Masala. Here I will explain about smoking in the campus area. But before that, I will explain about the dangers of smoking for individuals and people around them. Smoking has significant negative impacts, not only for the smoker himself but also for the people around him. The following is an explanation of the dangers of smoking for individuals and those around them. Dangers of smoking for individuals or active smoker. Number one is lung damage. Smoking is the main cause of chronic lung disease, such as bronchitis and emphysema. In addition, around 85% of lung cancer cases are caused by smoking. Number two is heart blood vessel disease. The nicotine in cigarettes causes blood vessels to narrow and increases blood pressure, which increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, coronary heart disease. Number three is immune system disorder. Smoking weakens the immune system, making the body more susceptible to infection. This means smokers experience illness more often and recovery more slowly from illness. Number four is premature aging. Chemicals in cigarettes speed up the aging process, causing wrinkles and the dull skin. This accelerates facial aging and makes the skin lose its elasticity. Number 5 is other cancers. Apart from lung cancer, smoking increases the risk of cancer in other parts of the body such as the mouth, throat, bladder, and pancreas. There is dangers of smoking for people around or passive smoke. Number 1 is respiratory disorder. People who inhale cigarette smoke or passive smoke can experience respiratory problems such as coughing, shortness of breath, and even asthma, especially in children and the elderly. Number 2 is risk of lung cancer. Even if they don't smoke, passive smokers who are frequently exposed to cigarette smoke have a higher risk of developing lung cancer than those who are not exposed. Number 3 is heart disease. People who are frequently exposed to cigarette smoke are also at higher risk of the developing heart disease. Exposure to cigarette smoke increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. Number 4 is danger for pregnant women and the babies. Pregnant women who are exposed to cigarette smoke are at risk of giving birth to low birth weight premature babies or babies with respiratory problems. Babies who are exposed to cigarette smoke are also at higher risk of experiencing sudden infant death syndrome. Number 5 is impact on children. Children who are frequently exposed to cigarette smoke are more susceptible to ear infection, bronchitis, and asthma. This can have a negative impact on their physical development and cause discomfort during the growing period. Conclusion: smoking is not only a personal problem, but also a social problem. The impact is felt by active smokers and the people around them. Therefore, quitting smoking or avoiding smoking in public places is an important step to maintain the health of yourself and others, while creating a healthier and more comfortable. Now, I will explain about smoking in the campus area. Smoking in campus area is a behavior that requires special attention because it has a direct impact on health, comfort, and the campus environment. Many campuses have implemented smoke-free campus area policies to create a healthy learning atmosphere for the entire academic community, including students, lecturers, and staff. Negative impacts of smoking in campus area. Number 1 is disrupt other people's health. Cigarette smoke inhaled by people around you is called secondhand smoke, and this has been proven to have bad health impacts, such as respiratory problems, heart disease, and even lung cancer. Those who do not smoke have the right to breathe clean air. Number 2 is damage the campus environment. Cigarette butts are often thrown away carelessly and are difficult to decompose, causing bad pollution to the campus environment. This can have a negative impact on the beauty and cleanliness. This can have a negative impact on the beauty and cleanliness of the campus. Number 3 is reduces air comfort and health. The campus environment should be a comfortable place to study and interact. Cigarette smoke in campus areas can cause discomfort for many people, especially those who are sensitive to smoke. Number 4 is increases the risk of fire. Smoking on campus, especially in open areas with lots of plant or flammable materials, can increase the risk of fire that endangers facilities and the safety of campus residents. Student roles and campus policies. Most campuses have policies prohibiting smoking in campus areas or providing special area for those who smoke so as not to disturb other people. Students and the entire academic community have an important role to play in obeying these regulations, keeping the campus environment healthy and clean, and reminding each other to respect shared rights. Respecting smoke-free rules on campus is part of a shared sense of responsibility to create a conducive and healthy learning environment. How to prevent smoking in campus area? The way is by 1. Implement a strict no-smoking policy. Number 2 is install no-smoking signs in public areas. Number 3, hold education and health campaigns. Number 4, involve students in healthy environment programs. Number 5 is provide support for students who want to quit smoking. Number 6 is involve campus security and supervision. Number 7 is promote the benefits of smoke-free campus. Number 8 is provide strict and educational sanction. The conclusion is that we should not smoke in campus area. If we want to smoke outside the campus area, and don't smoke too much. That's all from me. Bye.